All right, welcome back everybody to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to another video. I'm gonna try to make this one a short and sweet and to the point video for you guys, but I figured I'd bring you along while I do the Time Sert head repair, excuse me, the block repair to the head bolts. As you guys know in some of the other videos, a few of these stripped out and all 10 of the small ones up top, and I didn't even get them to the recommended torque spec for ARP. So again, I think from the get-go, like I spoke about on the last videos, the block probably was involved in a vehicle fire or something which weakened the threads. I'm assuming that's also another thing that the machine shop guy said. And so anyway, I'm removing the heads, and they gotta come off anyway because I got a special treat coming for you guys. Gonna be making some changes to this, and so I'll have another video for that. I've got a lot of good parts coming along the way that's gonna show you guys a little further along on the build, and basically that's that. So to cut into the chase today, as you can see, I've got a few of these out already. I'll be working on getting the rest off so I can get the head off. I'm gonna leave this one on, get it all taped up. I've got the front taped off, so that way at least the metal shavings and stuff when I go to drill this out is gonna be minimum. And I'll have my vacuum, my shop vac and stuff like that set up. So I just wanted to show you guys the process of using these Time Sert inserts, which are great head bolt repair kits. Don't waste your time using helicoils. All you're gonna do is just piss yourself off, waste a lot of time and effort and money. Do it right the first time, get these kits. These kits are straight out of, you know, off the internet or whatever, but they're straight from machine shops. And I mean, you just can't mess them up. Follow the directions, they're real simple. And that's it, man. This is the small one. This is the driver for the insert. These are the top 10 small M8 bolts. And then I've got the other Time Sert kit, as you can see here, that has for the M11 bolts. So you just follow these instructions, which I'll be talking to you guys through that. That's the whole point of the video today. And that's that. So this kit specifically is made for cylinder block, you know, head bolt holes. The way these inserts are designed, they have a smaller lip on them to where they recess down inside the block with the driver and the tap and all that stuff. So it's good. It's a good kit. Great repair. As you guys see in the last video, I repaired this hole already. And same thing on this side with this bolt hole has been repaired. Those both torqued perfectly. A lot of these did torque perfectly, but as you can see, this little arrow, that's the one that stripped on me when I got ready to do the final torque on this one. And then when I got to the small ones, they all stripped. So anyway, that's that, guys. I'm gonna get this head off. I'm gonna get the plate and stuff set up on it, and I'll walk you guys through the procedure on how to do these inserts, okay? Okay guys, I just stopped for a minute. I wanted to show you guys something along the process here. So I've got the head off, obviously. All the head bolts came out, the main 10. The top 5, they're kind of being, oh, you know what. So what I was running into is they're all stripped, but I'm trying to get them out, right? And they're not really want to come out like at all. I'm having to put a lot of pressure in this. I'm taking the opportunity to really put in a lot of torque right here and stripping the top of these ARP studs, and I am not one to do that. These are expensive, as you guys know. And they're in there, they're locked in. I can't really get them in. So I sat here for a minute and I thought, how can I get these out without messing them up, right? Well, I dug through my little various bolt bin garbage, just trying to see if I could find a couple nuts to double lock on them, and I couldn't. So I thought, well, what's another option? Well, you can always take and put your pair of pliers on there on the base below the threads. There's a space where there's nothing, right? There's the block threads, and then there's the or the nut threads, and then there's a space where there's no thread. So I thought, well, I could get on there just where kind of the head gasket sits and get that pulled out, but I thought, no, I don't want to do that either because I don't want to put a bunch of marks on it. So I thought, well, I've got the nuts obviously that came off of the studs, okay? Well, I said, well, I can do this carefully. And what I thought about was sticking them on, doubling them up like traditionally, where they're just one down and the next one. Well, I thought, well, it's a 12 point. There's no real way I can get that off. So this is an option that you can do, everybody. what I did is I took the 3/8 12-point socket, I flipped it upside down, and I also turned the nut inside upside down and put it into the socket. Then I took and put another nut on top and I put it down on the normal side down. So now they're flat to flat. Hopefully my camera could focus here for you guys, right? And then basically now my socket is locked into the bottom 12-point nut down here. And so what I thought, well, now I can take my pliers with my 10 mil socket, because I don't care if I mess the socket up, this 3/8 socket, and boom, we are turning the whole stud, folks. Look at that. So as you can see, I've got threads pulling out with it already. So there you go, guys. There's your option. You can use your studs, throw your socket on upside down, engage it into your 12-point if you got these ARP studs, or any 12-point studs, even like the knockoff Chinese versions. Flip them upside down and boom, you can just, now you can use the pliers to get your socket out, which a lot of people don't really care too much about the body of their socket. I didn't want to mess my studs up. So anyway, that's an option, guys. I'm probably gonna have to do it to all 10 of these small ones, and that's that. So figured I'd show you guys that little process that I'm going through here to get this set. All right, so we're set up. Just knocked out the first one. Definitely gonna show you guys the second one here, okay? So I went through, taped it all up, made sure that like even between the tape edges, there's no holes, so I don't need anything getting down inside this engine, right? I went through and made sure. Same thing on this, the head, valve cover area, all that. I got the other head over there covered up. So I come through, raise the blade open just the hole that I'm working on. That way everything stays nice and tight. I've got my air, my shop vac, and the kits. Now this kit's for the main 10 holes, and then these are for the M8, the smaller holes. When you guys order these Time Sert kits, you guys will get your instructions, follow them. Especially this M8 kit, it's a little bit different. Not necessarily different, but it's you gotta really be paying attention to what you're doing. So basically, oh, look at that, guys. That is not helicoils. That is block. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this whole thing. I ended up getting them all out with my my way that I showed you guys how to get the small studs out. These ended up coming out. Only one of them was the one that stripped. I got it out. But like I said, I'm not gonna be fighting with this thing anymore. Even the ones that are not stripped, I'm doing them all. I'm doing all 15 on this side, and then the same thing on this side. I'll be pulling that head off and be doing all 15 over there. So that way there's no guesswork on, all right, is this one gonna strip today or whatever. So anyway, process is just follow your directions. I'm not gonna necessarily bore you with all that. I've got my stop on my drill. This is a special drill bit that comes with it. It's actually countersunk. It's kind of hard to see. The GoPro's not really wanting to focus. And then you got your stop, right? So you bring your drill over, you know, you get yourself lined up as straight as you can get it and make your cut. And then once you make your cut, it'll stop you at your stop. Once you get that done, you'll suck out and blow out the hole to get all your shavings out of it. And once you do that, you'll come back over. You're gonna grab your tap. Once you get your tap, you've got this guide. This guide is what you're actually gonna hold on to. And then I don't actually have a tap driver handle, so I took and hooked up a socket that'll just go on like that and drive the tap. As long as you go slow, put some WD-40 on the threads when you're cutting, and then all you do is line it up, and then you hold the guide down flat on the surface of the deck. Hold that down tight as you're tapping. That way the tap's not tilted in any kind of way, because this is a very tight fit on this tap. There's no play, so if you hold it flat on the block, you know that tap's going down straight, right? Then once you get that, you'll do the same thing again. You'll get your shop vac out, get your air, blow the holes out, get all the shavings out from doing the tap. Then you'll take and insert a sleeve, an insert onto your driver, oil the threads with the oil, and then insert your sleeve insert onto the driver. And once it's on the driver, you'll take and add a little thread Sert, Time Sert Loctite, basically just red Loctite. Put it on the outer edges of the threads that are actually going to make contact with the block, and then that's that. So you'll come over, you'll have your insert on your driver. This will already be bigger and tapped out, and you'll just start threading it in. And then once you get, these special drivers have a certain way, whenever you go down, it locks it in place and expands it, and then it's got the Loctite on it as well. And then so you're backing this out. That's why you put oil on these threads, and then it comes out of the insert, and the insert stays in the block, and you're done. So pretty straightforward, guys. I'm not going to set up the camera. Like I told you, this was going to be one of those quick and easy inserts, instructional videos for you guys to see, like, hey, if you're out there and you're stripping your head bolts and your LS, you know, spend the money, spend the time, and do it correctly. Don't helicoil it. I understand that everybody's situation is not this simple, where an engine's just sitting on a stand, or, you know, it could be in a truck that you need to have working right away. Unfortunately, these kits are designed to have the heads removed off of the engine, obviously, as you guys see. So, you know, if you strip a head bolt or something while the engine's in the car or the truck, well, you're either pulling the head in the truck and doing this job while the block is in the truck, in the car, or you're going to be pulling the engine out and you're going to be doing it on the stand like I'm doing it here. So yeah, that's really just going to have to boil down to your certain situation. So all I was going to say is just that make sure you guys are doing it correctly. If you do it correctly, again, like I've spoken to other videos, this is a stronger holding force for a bolt or a stud once this repair is completed than what the factory original hole that had just tapped threads from the factory. This type of repair ends up making the hole stronger. It's got a stronger holding force. So again, pretty simple. Just follow your instructions, take your time, use the correct tools, and have you some beer if you so choose to drink. I'm probably about to pop one open here in a minute, and I'm just gonna probably just eyeball these a little bit more, you know, and just let you guys know that this is what caused all this bullshit. I mean, there you go, just aluminum block just breaking off. I mean, it's pretty sweet, but not gonna have that problem no more, because I am gonna have all 30 of these head bolts. So I want to bring you along with the second part here. I've got the plate set up for the main 10 on the Time Sert. So basically what I did is I finished up these 5 and moved on to these 10. So this is the one that was already completed prior. But basically what you do is you take this plate, it's got a big enough hole for this bushing to go in, and then this is the hole that's to be repaired, is the one with the bushing that's got this pin. And basically what you do is you put the bushing inside the plate, you put the pin's got a tapered end, and it centers the plate up on the hole. And once you get the plate centered up, you take your bolts and you tighten it down. So what I did is I kept the surface still sealed up with the tape, and then I just went back and cut a small hole with the razor blade around the 4 mounting holes. That way I could put the plate on, and then what happens is, like when I go to repair this hole and then this hole, I'll just take and spin the plate around until so this hole is on each individual bolt hole. So pretty straightforward there. Basically that's it. So what you'll do, I'll get the other bolt in here, I'll tighten this plate down, I'll pull this pin. Once you pull the pin, that's when you get started. And the process with this one is going to be the exact same. All you do is you measure your depth of threads. You follow the instructions, obviously, right? But basically what it says, you measure the threads for the countersink till the threads start, and then you measure that, make your mark, and then so as you're drilling, that's where you know to stop. And then once you do that, then you move to the tap, you tap your hole, you clean it out with the air and the vacuum, and then you move on to adding the insert on with the driver. And you put it on, put a little Loctite on it, and you drive it down. So it's the same exact process as the top holes that I showed you guys just a little earlier, except it's just on a little bit larger scale, and you use the plate. The plate helps you center it up when you're drilling and such. So these holes didn't have a plate, you just had the bushing that you held, and that was it. So that's that. I wanted to make sure you guys got that. Just to let you know that when these are the part numbers and stuff that I'm using. This one is part number 3700. Okay, that's that on that one. And then the kit that I used on the M8 top bolts is an M8 by 125, and part number is 1812 core. All right, they make an 1812 kit, and they make an 1812 core kit, and the core kit's the one you're going to need for the LS small bolts, M8 bolts at the top, because they're countersunk as well as the traditional 10 combustion chamber bolts. So that's it. Like the video, hit that subscribe on the channel. I've got a lot of videos coming up for you guys. We've got a lot of parts pouring in for the car. I've got my cousin that will be showing up here in about 3 weeks or so. We're going to be getting the cage put in. I'll give you guys a little teaser actually. Got all the interior pulled out of the car. Got the dashes sitting in here. There's the main hoop, and all the rest of the bars are all right there. So again, there'll be another instructional video on this. Just a little teaser for you guys, let you guys know that's what's going to happen. Once that's all done and the cage is in, I'm going to be painting it, doing all that good stuff. Wiring the car, I'll have all that on there. If you guys are familiar with Vanderhoof on YouTube, he does real great instructional wiring videos for like Holly and stuff like that. So get after those videos, and I'll be following along with a lot of his stuff and you taking his recommendation for doing a lot of the wiring. Turbos on the way, converters on the way. My new heads are coming, so I will no longer be using the GMPP CNC LS3 heads. I've got a special treat coming for you guys. You guys will see that here in the next video. I plan on making a lot of power with this thing. Like I said, this thing's either gonna make a lot of power or it's gonna blow up, one of the two. So, and hopefully I don't blow it up, obviously, at least not right away. If it blows up down the road after making some passes, I'm completely okay with that. But so if you guys are interested in a set of brand new, never even been ran GMPP heads, I even still got the original boxes still sitting over there. They'll be getting out to you guys. I'm gonna take a little bit of a hit on them. I'm only asking like 1,800 bucks for them. I spent, I think, nearly $2 grand after I put the BTR springs in them. If you could, hit that comment down below. Let me know that you're interested, or send me a message, and I will definitely reach out to you guys, and I'll ship them out to you. So be looking out for the next videos. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff coming up, and make sure you hit that subscribe again. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next time.